Warren Buffett. Just hearing the name brings to mind an image of an elderly gentleman with white hair, wearing glasses, a tie around his neck, and holding a bottle of Coke in his hand. He looks a lot like the grandfather next door, but this grandfather currently has over $140 billion in wealth. With this money, you could buy the entire New York City and still have hundreds of billions of dollars left over. Warren Buffett, the Oracle of Omaha, the most successful investor in the world. But how did he become so successful? Did he become rich overnight? No. Did he discover some secret stock market formula? No. Did he ever quit his job to start a business? No. The secret to Warren Buffett's success lies in his daily habits, some small, simple habits that he has been following for 70 years. And it's because of these habits that he is today one of the wealthiest people in the world. We all think that to become rich, you need big strategies. You need complicated formulas. You need to know the complex calculations of the stock market. But Buffett teaches us that real success is hidden in very simple things, in very simple habits. In this video, I will tell you in detail about Warren Buffett's top 5 habits. The 5 habits that took him from zero to where he is today. If you follow these 5 habits in your life, you too can one day be financially independent. You too can one day say no to your boss. You too can one day give time to your family, live tension-free. But before that, one thing. Warren Buffett wasn't always this rich. His early life was very difficult. He was born in Omaha, Nebraska. His father was a stockbroker, a chartered accountant. In the 1930s, when America was going through the Great Depression, Buffett's family wasn't in a very good position either. As a child, Warren Buffett worked as a paperboy. He would wake up early in the morning and deliver newspapers. And with this job, he earned $175 a month. In the 1940s, $175 would be worth over $3,000 today, meaning from a young age, he understood the importance of earning money. At 11 years old, he made his first investment in the stock market. He bought 3 shares of a company called City Service Preferred, and his sister Doris also invested with him. They bought the shares for $38.25. Then the price dropped to $27. His sister Doris would ask him every day, "What's the price of the shares?" And Buffett would get annoyed. Later, when the price went up to $40, he immediately sold them. But later he saw that the price of those shares went up to $200. From this incident, he learned a lesson for life. He understood that without patience, you cannot succeed in investing. And this lesson later became the biggest habit of his life. Today, I will share with you those 5 habits of Warren Buffett that made him the most successful investor in the world. We will discuss each habit in detail, and I will also tell you how you can apply these habits in your life. So let's get started. Habit 1, the power of reading. Warren Buffett's first and most important habit is reading. Reading a lot, reading every day, reading from morning till night. Once a journalist asked him, "What's the secret to success?" Buffett then pointed to his hand and said, "Look, I'm sitting here, and all around me are piles of books and reports. I read for 5 to 6 hours a day." 5 to 6 hours. Just reading. Does that sound unbelievable to you? But it's true. Warren Buffett spends a large part of his time reading. He reads company annual reports. He reads financial statements. He reads history books. He reads philosophy books. He reads biographies. Whatever he gets, he reads. His business partner, Charlie Munger, once said, "I have never seen anyone as well read as Warren Buffett in this world." Did you know that when Warren Buffett was in college, he would memorize all his textbooks? Not only that, he would read thousands of other books on his own outside of class. He believes that knowledge is the only thing that grows like compound interest. The more you read, the more your knowledge grows. The more your knowledge grows, the better decisions you can make. And the better decisions you make, the more your life improves. Buffett once said, "I read 500 pages every day. That's how knowledge builds up. It works like compound interest. Everyone can do it, but not everyone does." 500 pages. That might sound impossible to you, but Buffett does it, and he still does it at 94 years old. Now, the question is, what does he read? How does he read? Let's find out. First, he reads annual reports. When he wants to invest in a company, he reads all the annual reports of that company from the last 5, 10 years. He looks at the company's management, their profits and losses, their future plans. He doesn't just look at numbers. He tries to understand the story behind the numbers. Second, he reads history. He believes that history repeats itself. Those who don't learn from history keep making the same mistakes. By reading history, Buffett tries to understand how people made mistakes in the past, how they made right decisions. He applies that knowledge to his investments. Third, he reads biographies. He loves reading biographies of successful people. He sees how they built their lives, how they faced problems, how they achieved success. He draws inspiration from these biographies. Fourth, he reads philosophy books. He believes philosophy teaches us to make the right decisions. Philosophy helps us find answers to life's big questions. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have time to read. I'm busy with office, busy with family. Where will I find time to read? Buffett's answer is, if you think education is expensive, try calculating the cost of ignorance. In other words, the cost of the wrong decisions you make because you don't have time to read will be much higher. The time you spend reading is an investment. This investment can change your life. How can you follow Buffett's habit? Start small. Read 20 minutes every day. 20 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 1 hour. Gradually increase, but don't stop reading. What should you read? Read about topics you enjoy. If you want to read about investing, read Buffett's books. Read Peter Lynch's books. Read Benjamin Graham's books. If you want to read about business, read case studies of successful companies. If you want to read about history, read history books, but keep reading. When I was young, one of my teachers said, "He who does not read lives in darkness. He who reads sees the light." Buffett believes this 100%. Do you know that Buffett's office has no computer, no stock ticker machine, only books, annual reports, and newspapers? He believes you can't make the right decisions by staring at a computer screen all day. To make the right decisions, you have to read, research, and understand. So Buffett's first habit is reading, and more reading. Now, you might wonder, will reading alone make you rich? No. Reading is just the first step. The second step is applying what you read, and that's what we'll talk about in our second habit. Habit 2, invest in what you understand. Warren Buffett's second most important habit is that he never invests in something he doesn't understand. This is the foundation of his investment philosophy. He once said, "Never invest in a business you don't understand." That's it. A very simple rule. But most people don't follow this simple rule. When we invest in the stock market, do we really understand what we're buying? Do we know how this company's business works? What are their products? Who are their customers? Who are their competitors? What are their future plans? Most of the time, we don't know anything. We just heard this stock is good, so we buy it. We saw the stock price going up, so we buy it. We saw our friend bought it, so we buy it. This isn't investing, this is gambling. Buffett never gambles. He invests. And investing means that when you buy shares of a company, you're buying a part of that company. You become an owner of that company. Now, if you're an owner of a company, it's your responsibility to know everything about that company. Buffett doesn't invest in technology companies. Why? Because he says, I don't understand technology. Once during the dot-com bubble, when everyone was going crazy buying tech stocks, Buffett didn't buy anything. Everyone made fun of him. They said, Warren is old. He doesn't understand what's happening. But a few years later, when the dot-com bubble burst and thousands of companies went bankrupt, Buffett's money remained safe because he didn't buy anything. He only invests in companies he understands, like Coca-Cola. He understands Coca-Cola's business. People drink Coke all over the world. This trend will continue. Like Apple, he understands Apple's business. People can't live without iPhones. This trend will continue. Like American Express, he understands that people use credit cards. This trend will continue. Do you know what Buffett's biggest investment is? Apple. He has about $160 billion worth of shares. But the funny thing is, Buffett himself doesn't use an iPhone. He uses an old phone. Then how did he invest in Apple? It's because even though he doesn't understand Apple's product, he understands Apple's business model. He understands that Apple has an ecosystem. Once people buy an Apple product, they can't leave. They'll buy an iPhone, then an Apple Watch, then a MacBook, then an iPad. This ecosystem generates billions of dollars in revenue annually. This he understands. Now, what's the lesson for you? When you invest, don't just buy stocks. Buy a company. Try to understand that company's business. What do they sell? Who are their customers? Who are their competitors? What is their profit margin? What are their future plans? Do you know Buffett has a funny rule? He says, if I buy shares of a company, I should be okay even if the stock market closes for 10 years. 10 years with the stock market closed. Can you imagine? We look at stock prices every day. We worry every day. We think every day, how much profit today, how much loss today. Buffett doesn't think about these things. He buys and holds. Then he sits back. He also said, diversification is protection against ignorance. If you know what you're doing, you don't need diversification. Meaning, instead of investing small amounts in many companies, it's wiser to invest large amounts in a few good companies. But for that, you need to know which companies are good. Buffett never makes investment decisions by looking at the stock market. He makes decisions by looking at the company. He says, if you want to be a good business person, understand good business. If you want to be a good investor, understand good investments. Now, the question is, how can we follow this habit? First, thoroughly learn about the sector you want to invest in. If you want to learn about the technology sector, read about technology companies, use their products, talk to their customers, learn about their competitors. Second, read the annual reports of the company you're investing in. Read the last 5 to 10 years of annual reports. See how they've changed over time, how their profits have increased, what their management is like. Third, use the company's products. If you want to invest in Coca-Cola, drink Coke. See how it is. If you want to invest in Apple, use an iPhone. See how it is. If you want to invest in McDonald's, go there and eat a burger. See what the service is like. See what the customers are like. Fourth, learn about the company's competitors. See what they're doing. Why someone prefers Pepsi over Coca-Cola. Why someone prefers Samsung over Apple. This information will help you make better decisions. Buffett's habit teaches us that investing isn't just about putting money somewhere. Investing means understanding a business, being an owner of that business, thinking about that business's future. And this thinking will make you a good investor. Habit 3, long-term thinking. Warren Buffett's third habit is thinking long-term. He never makes decisions based on short-term gains. He always looks at long-term results when making decisions. He once said, someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. Meaning, today's comfort comes from yesterday's hard work. Today's success comes from yesterday's effort. When Buffett invests in a company, he doesn't think about what the share price will be in the next 6 months. He thinks about what will happen to this company in 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years. He said, our favorite holding period is forever. Forever. Can you imagine holding a stock forever? We get worried if a stock doesn't give us 10% profit in a week, and Buffett talks about holding forever. This long-term thinking applies not just to investing, but to his entire life. When he makes any decision, he looks at the long-term impact of that decision. He doesn't want to make wrong decisions because wrong decisions have long-lasting effects. Where did this habit come from? Remember the story I told earlier about buying shares with his sister? From that incident, he understood that without patience, you can't make big profits. If he hadn't sold those shares, he would have made much more profit. From then on, he learned to identify good companies and hold on to them. Do you know Buffett's biggest investment? Berkshire Hathaway. He bought shares of this company in 1965. From 1965 until today, he has held on to these shares for 59 years. And in these 59 years, the share price of this company has increased by about 5 million%. 5 million%. Can you imagine? To get this kind of return, you need long-term thinking. You need patience. Let me give another example. Coca-Cola. Buffett started buying Coca-Cola shares in 1988. The price per share was about $5 then. Today's price is about $60. Not only has the share price increased, he's also received dividends all these years. The dividends have increased every year. Now he gets about $700 million in dividends every year from Coca-Cola. $700 million just in dividends without selling any shares. This is the magic of long-term investing. Now, the question is, how can we follow this habit? First, when we make any investment, we should ask ourselves, am I willing to hold this company's shares for 10 years? If the answer is no, then we shouldn't buy those shares. Second, we should stop looking at stock prices every day, because looking at stock prices every day kills our patience. When prices drop, we get scared. When prices rise, we want to take profits. This short-term thinking is harmful for us. Third, we should set long-term goals. Instead of saying, I'll make $100,000 in 5 years, set goals like, I'll make $1 million in 20 years. Long-term goals teach us patience. Fourth, we should believe in the power of compounding. Compounding isn't magic, it's mathematics. If you invest $10,000 at 10% return, in 10 years it'll be $25,000. In 20 years, $67,000. In 30 years, $174,000. In 40 years, $452,000. The longer the time, the faster the money grows. This magic is called compounding. Buffett understood this magic. That's why he could be patient. Once a journalist asked him, "What's the secret to your success?" Buffett then said, "We just buy good companies and hold them. We never think about selling them." The journalist said, "That's so simple. Then everyone could do it." Buffett smiled and said, "Everyone can, but not everyone does." Truth be told, this simple thing is the hardest. Staying patient, staying calm, controlling greed, controlling fear, these are very difficult. But Buffett does these things, which is why he's successful. If we can apply this habit in our lives, we too can be successful in the long run. Not just in investing, but in every area of life, in studies, in career, in relationships. Long-term thinking will make us successful everywhere. Habit 4, frugality. Warren Buffett's fourth habit is frugality, controlling expenses. Hearing this, you might think, someone who has $140 billion, why would they control expenses? They can buy whatever they want. They could buy a private jet. They could buy a yacht. They could buy an island. But Buffett doesn't do that. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. A simple house in a simple neighborhood in Omaha. No luxurious palace, no beachfront villa, no 7-story mansion. He still works in the same office he's been working in since 1970. A simple office in a quiet city in Omaha. No computers, no stock ticker screens, just books, annual reports, and a few phones. He still drives the same car he bought many years ago, a Cadillac, but it's not new either, an old model. He shops at Walmart. He uses coupons. His favorite food is McDonald's breakfast. Every morning on his way to the office, he buys breakfast from McDonald's. Once his wife bought some things from the store. Buffett asked, "How much did it cost?" She said, $3. Buffett said, "If you hadn't spent that $3, do you know how much it would be in 20 years? It would become a big amount with compounding." This mentality was with him since childhood. As a child, he worked as a paper boy. He saved that money. He didn't spend it. At 11, he invested in the stock market. That money was his savings. Now the question is frugality just about saving money? No. Frugality means controlling your assets, having dominion over your money. Buffett says, if you keep buying things you don't need, soon you'll have to sell things you do need. Meaning, if you spend unnecessarily when you need money, you won't have it, then you'll have to sell your assets. That's not a good habit. Buffett also says, keep your expenses lower than your income. If you follow this one rule, you can be financially independent. A very simple rule, but we can't follow this simple rule. When our income increases, we increase our expenses too. We buy new cars, new houses, new clothes, new gadgets. But Buffett doesn't do that. His income increases, but his lifestyle doesn't. Buffett once said, to become rich, you don't need a big income, you need to spend wisely. Let me give an example. Suppose your monthly income is $5,000. If you spend $4,000, you save $1,000. And if your monthly income is $10,000, but you spend $9,000, you still save $1,000. Savings are the same in both cases, but in the first case, your lifestyle might be simpler. In the second case, your lifestyle is more expensive, but savings are the same. The smart thing is to not increase lifestyle when income increases. Buffett does this. His income is billions of dollars, but he still maintains a simple lifestyle. Now, how can you follow this habit? First, track your expenses. Keep track of where every penny is going. You'll see many unnecessary expenses that you can reduce. Second, reduce unnecessary expenses. Daily coffee, eating out, new gadgets. Your life won't stop without these, but spending on these adds up to a lot of money. Third, before buying something, ask yourself, do I really need this thing? If the answer is no, don't buy it. Fourth, use discounts and coupons. Like Buffett, shop at Walmart with coupons. This saves money, even if it's a little. Fifth, avoid expensive cars, expensive houses, expensive clothes. These might increase your social status, but they don't increase your net worth. Buffett's habit teaches us that saving money, not spending it, is the path to wealth. Bill Gates once said, I've never seen anyone as frugal as Warren Buffett. He has billions of dollars, but he still shops with coupons. This frugality has helped him accumulate so much money to invest. What he saves, he invests. And from investments, his wealth grows. If we can be as frugal as Buffett, we too can save more money. We can invest that money. And from investments, we can benefit in the long run. Habit 5, creating balance in life. Warren Buffett's fifth habit is creating balance in life. When we think of wealthy people, we think they work 24 hours a day. They never rest, but Buffett doesn't do that. Buffett divides his time. He works, but he also gets enough sleep. He reads, but he also gives time to family. He thinks about investments, but he also has fun. One of his famous quotes is, take a job that you love so much that you don't want to retire. Buffett loves his work. He goes to the office every morning. He reads annual reports. He talks to company CEOs. He makes investment decisions. But he enjoys doing all this. For him, these aren't work. These are his hobbies. But Buffett doesn't just work. He loves playing bridge. He plays bridge every week. He loves playing the ukulele. He plays guitar. He spends time with his friends. His best friend was Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger was the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway. They worked together for over 60 years. They talked on the phone every day. They had lunch together. They made investment decisions together. Charlie passed away in 2023 at age 99. Buffett still misses him. Buffett also gives time to his family. He has 3 children. He talks to them regularly. He gives time to his grandchildren. He gives time to his wife. Once a journalist asked him, "What is your measure of success?" Buffett replied, "I measure success by the people who love me. No matter how much money you have, if the people around you don't love you, you're not successful." Meaning, Buffett believes that true success in life is relationships. If relationships are good, money will come. But if you only have money and no relationships, life is empty. Buffett also says, the biggest investment in life is investing in yourself. Develop yourself, learn new things, meet new people, have new experiences. These will make you rich. He believes that money can't buy happiness. Happiness comes from within. Happiness comes from relationships. Happiness comes from satisfaction with your work. Now, the question is, how can we follow this habit? First, we learn to love our work. If we love the work we do, work won't feel like a burden. Then we'll work, but without the stress of work. Second, we value our relationships, spend time with family, friends, colleagues, listen to them, take their love, because in the end, these relationships stay with us. Third, we make time for ourselves, time for reading, time for hobbies, time for rest. Life becomes monotonous if you only work, so making time for yourself is important. Fourth, we take care of our health. Buffett is 94 years old and still healthy. He still works, still walks, still reads because he's always taking care of his health. He gets enough sleep. He eats properly. He exercises. Fifth, we learn to enjoy life. Buffett loves drinking Coke. He loves eating McDonald's burgers. He loves playing bridge. He loves playing the ukulele. These small things give him joy. We too need to find joy in small things. Buffett's life balance teaches us that success isn't just about money. Success is about a beautiful life where there is work, but also rest, where there is money, but also relationships, where there is success, but also peace. If we can balance our lives like Buffett, we won't just be rich, we'll be happy too. And being happy is what really matters, right? Part 6. How to apply these habits in your life. So far, we've learned about Warren Buffett's 5 habits in detail. Now the question is, how can we apply these habits in our lives? How can we be as successful as Buffett? Let me give you a step-by-step guide. Step 1. Create a reading plan. Set aside at least 30 minutes every day for reading, in the morning before work or at night before sleep. Make a list of what you'll read. For example, this month I'll read 1 book. Next month, another book. Gradually increase your reading time. Even if you can't read 5-6 hours a day like Buffett, you can at least read 1 hour. Step 2. Increase your investment knowledge. Learn about the sector you want to invest in. Read company annual reports. Use products. Talk to customers. Understand how the business works. Then invest. And after investing, be patient and hold. Step 3. Set long-term goals. Set long-term goals for your life. For example, I'll save $500,000 in 10 years, or I'll retire in 20 years. Make today's decisions, keeping these goals in mind. Remember, today's small decisions shape your future. Step 4. Create a budget and follow it. Track your income and expenses. Reduce unnecessary expenses. Invest what you save. Remember, you need to be as frugal as Buffett. Use coupons. Don't buy things you don't need. Step 5. Balance your life. Don't just keep working. Give time to family. Spend time with friends. Make time for yourself. Pursue hobbies. Travel. Enjoy life. Remember, money isn't everything in life. If you follow these 5 steps, you'll gradually be able to apply Buffett's habits in your life, and these habits will lead you on the path to success. Warren Buffett once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." If you cultivate the right habits today, tomorrow you can sit in the shade of those habits. Your children will enjoy the fruits of those habits. Buffett's 5 habits are very simple, yet very difficult. Reading is easy, but reading regularly is difficult. Investing in what you understand is easy, but actually doing it is difficult. Long-term thinking is easy, but being patient is difficult. Being frugal is easy, but controlling greed is difficult. Creating balance is easy, but finding time is difficult. But these difficult things are what will make you successful. Buffett did these things, which is why he's the most successful investor in the world. I believe you can too. If you can apply Buffett's habits in your life, you too can one day be financially independent. You too can one day say no to your boss. You too can one day give time to your family, live tension-free. So start today. Read a book today. Research a company today. Set a long-term goal today. Reduce unnecessary expenses today. Give time to your family today. Do you want to apply these 5 habits of Buffett in your life? If yes, write "I'm ready" in the comments. Let me know which habit you want to follow the most. I read all comments and will respond. If you like the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, and yes, share this video with your friends who also want to be as successful as Buffett. Stay tuned to the channel for the next video on how to generate regular income by investing in the American stock market. There are many more stories of Warren Buffett that I will share with you. That's all for today. Happy investing. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Thank you.